Hello everybody, this is a bit unorthodox video I guess. I think I always have this need to talk about very important things somewhere around midnight when the light is not very good and the video is usually a bit grainy. So I was just about to go to sleep and then I realized maybe I want to make a video and maybe I want to talk about beauty and self-love and things like that. By the way, if this looks familiar to you, this is actually Lucius' scarf that he used to have at his Kentish town home, and when we moved in together, I basically took this thing over, and that was mine, like quite a few of his things. So, but it's fine. He's got my spiky jacket. He stole my spiky jacket. That was mine. So yeah, what I would like to talk about, I was actually inspired by quite a few comments I had when I asked the poll question in my October videos if I should, dye my hair red or black. And actually I had so many responses and quite a few people wrote me, oh, you are so beautiful, it doesn't matter which color you're going to have, or, you would look really hot in red. And that actually was something that I was like, wow, that's great. But at the same time, I actually felt this, I would say almost weird feeling of resistance that was actually taking compliments. And I realized it's something I was kind of possibly battling my whole life. Not like, I'd say from the age of like 12, maybe 13, because in my life I actually never did consider myself being pretty. I always tend to consider myself being smart or being well educated or being something around the brain area, but I actually never in my life considered myself being pretty or beautiful. And I actually realized that, wow, now I'm putting this video there and people are actually telling me that I'm pretty, and I'm very happy for it. That actually makes me very happy. But in the same side, I feel like, oh wow, hey, maybe something about me and how I feel about myself is a bit off, because why I have this resistance actually taking compliments. And then I actually realized that actually loads of people, it's not just me, loads of people are battling with the same thing. When somebody told them they're pretty or you are handsome, then I would say quite a lot of people, and especially I would say girls, thinking, no, wow, maybe he's lying, or maybe just trying to hit on me. And so I know I'm not alone who's with those feelings, with those doubts. I'm thinking, where is it coming from? And if I actually look back in my life, most of my teenage years, I was not very thin. I'm still a bit chubby. Not Kate Moss skinny. And I actually was like always kind of fighting it, battling it, and also the teeth. I was always kind of like the target for bullying and jokes and stuff like that. So I guess it kind of left this scar on me. And occasionally it's quite easy to hurt somebody, with having comments about the way how they look. Usually maybe all it takes is like, oh yeah, I would date you, but you would have to lose about 10 kilos, which is actually a sentence I had one day, and I wasn't that chubby. Just like, I don't know, size 44. Well, not ideal, but not like, I don't know, the way I can't function. Like too fat, I can't get out of my bed. But even comments like that actually, I guess, can create a wound that basically you're kind of overcoming or living with for a long time. And I was actually thinking how to, how to get out of this vicious cycle. Because I think if you actually don't feel like you're pretty, or you don't feel good about the way you look, then it works like that you don't really feel like investing, let's say, money in your looks. Maybe you don't feel like investing that much in fashion. Maybe you think, oh, I would maybe put the makeup on, but I can't be bothered with myself. Or I don't really, why would I make my hair pretty because I just don't feel like it. And maybe in that sense it kind of, it just enforces and confirms this idea that I'm not worth my physical appearance is not worth the trouble because I'm just not pretty enough, or I just don't feel pretty. So, or this is too big, this is too small. So actually I was like considering like how to get out of it, because obviously if you do that, if you don't care about yourself, then you possibly won't look better, and that will make you feel better. So what to do with it? And what, let's say, helped me was, even when I actually didn't feel like it, I actually started to, take care of myself and, put on some makeup. I think, funnily enough, the first thing that actually did kind of help me to overcome those feelings about 2 years ago, when I was actually starting to do something about it, because I realized I just can't go on like that, just I can't go on. And every time I'm looking in a display or a mirror, just feeling, this is terrible. Like, I can't even look at myself. This is just, look at all the other people, how they are beautiful, and I just look like a piece of something. And first thing that actually helped me was I really wanted a shoes. I'm not good. Well, the brand was Dr. Martens, and this is not paid video. Just like, you know, nobody's paying me, and the next Dr. Martens shoes I was going to have is something I have to completely pay on my own. But it was just those particular shoes, and I always wanted them, and I never actually, spend the money on them, and I actually never like think like I'm worth it to actually spend the money on them. And then I actually saw one of them that actually got like roses all over. Basically, they are quite tall, are quite long. They're basically all the way up to the knee. And they have like roses all around them. And I was actually walking around, and then I see them like in a posters in a Camden shops. And I was thinking, wow, that's such a beautiful shoes. But why I would buy it for myself? I'm not worth it. Thoughts like that, quite some harmful thoughts, stupid thoughts, and well, not stupid, obviously it's your fault. So they are trying to tell you something, and they've been trying to tell me that I need to love myself more and I need to value myself more. So I actually, when I realized what those thoughts are actually trying to tell me, that they're not trying to hurt me, but they are trying to tell me there is something I need to concentrate on and something I should actually do about the whole situation. Then I gave it a thought, and I actually at the end ended up buying those shoes. And they're really beautiful, and I still have them. Or I still have them. I don't have them for that long, it's about a year and something. And I basically live in them, and I have them every day. And in that sense, you might say, buying things, material things, is not very spiritual. But for that, I'm always saying everything is spiritual, not just, I don't know, Bible, magical grimoires, Buddhistic mantras, praying beads. They all have the same divine power as the most mundane or non-spiritual thing. I believe by default there is nothing that would be non-divine or non-spiritual. Everything is, because it's all universe, it's all world, it's all part of it. Everything is created by divine force, so nothing can be less or more spiritual or magical or universal divine, because it's the same thing, it's the same principle, it's the same, dough. It's like you have two cookies, and you said this one cookie is divine, this one is not, but there's both cookies, so it's made out of the same flour, so it's dough, it's the cookie. So in that sense, actually buying those shoes was something that actually did help me. And I put them on, and I felt actually very good. I was like, wow, I actually, I deserve this beautiful thing, and I look good in it, and this is something that actually feels great. And this new feeling that actually I look good in something and I feel good wearing it or having it or looking that particular way or be that particular person who's wearing it, actually now started to feel good. And I look in myself in the mirror, and I look in myself on the displays, and I felt good. I guess it doesn't have to be for other people, it doesn't have to be shoes. It can be even, I guess, a job you like or project you like, or you can just approach things in a way that then you look in yourself in the mirror and thinks, wow, I'm proud of you that you actually did that thing that particular way, and I think you're amazing. Like, it can be even overcoming illness, it can be overcoming hard times, it can be anything really, but whatever brings that result of self-appreciation. Because if you, I guess, appreciate yourself and you feel like, oh, I've done this very well, then naturally there can't be very space in your head and in your mind for any doubts about your low value, because I'm not beautiful, I'm not that, I'm not that. So for me, I actually didn't have any doubts about my, let's say, brain and about my intelligence and about my education. How arrogant that might sound, but my friend told me, make videos where actually you're talking about yourself and get people to know you better. And again, my first doubts was, would actually somebody be interested to actually know something more about me? Will be somebody really, really interested to actually hear my rumble? But then I was thinking, yeah, well, let's give it a try. So for me, it wasn't necessarily my brain I was doubting. It wasn't my abilities I was doubting. It was my physical looks. It was my physical appearance. Its physical appearance is as divine as the internal. It's a part of it. So that was a particular part of my life that I believe that deserves some attention from my side. And I guess for somebody else, it might be even, you're doubting your abilities, you're doubting your intelligence, you're doubting your coping skills, whatever you're doubting might create this feeling of, oh yeah, I'm not good at this, I'm not, and self-doubt. And so for me, it was the physical appearance. So I started to work on that, and even when it kind of didn't feel like it, as I said from the beginning, I have to overcome my own resistance to actually buy myself pretty shoes. How stupid that sounds, actually. How something that's so simple, like buying yourself something nice. But then I actually, thinking, oh yeah, actually that's good. And this first small little thing actually, and the fact that it actually felt good, triggered me actually starting to work on it a bit more. So I, got a haircut and I started to use makeup more. And I started to kind of feel better about myself, bit by bit, about my physical appearance. Uh, I'm still not considering myself being ridiculously beautiful. And frankly, my whole teenage years, and I would say this kind of also penetrates to this moment when I still feel like, boys are not interested, or girls, I'm sorry, this is, I guess, not very good time to come out, but I have to explain why I'm saying boys or girls, because I'm bisexual. So boys or girls are not interested in me. So it is because I'm not just pretty enough. And I think because I felt that, and actually that kind of, drove the people away from me, because they could somehow sense it, or they somehow, I just manifested what I was giving momentum over power, and I was giving momentum over power to this thought. So naturally, that's what I was manifesting. And again, I went into vicious circle when basically what I was manifesting just was confirming my belief, and it just went like that. So I had to somehow broke the cycle by actually concentrating on improving the thing that was actually causing the cycle to spin. And after I actually have done that, I believe things start to change a little bit. I believe I was like, I went to a party, and I never considered myself being dressed pretty, or just like I didn't care about what I was wearing at all. Yeah, I guess if you would see me how I looked like 2 years ago, I would have hair like in a bun. I would have no makeup. I would have glasses. I would have like a long, some sort of secondhand jumper or hoodie that would go all the way almost to the knees, and I would have like a hiking sneakers and like secondhand male cargo pants, and wearing just some sort of like a backpack or something like that. And it wasn't really me, and I wasn't really feeling good in this. And so, kind of with the time, but I guess more than actual my physical appearance, what actually changed the reactions of the people around me was the fact I was feeling better about myself. Doesn't matter if it was a shoes or more makeup, but or my achievements or whatever. But my own feeling changed about me, and I think that was actually at the end of the day what actually changed the surroundings. So I started to receive, um, I would say, more compliments, and again, the vicious cycle changed. So the better I was feeling about myself, and was more confident and was happy, then more, let's say, compliments I received, and then happier I felt about myself, and it kind of spent in the better direction, I would say. So this is something I would like to, I guess, recommend to somebody who is feeling the same way about it. Just to start really, and don't let other people to discourage yourself from it, because I'm not saying this necessarily must be like everybody's situation, but let's say for me it was because I was around a person who kind of didn't really want me to look pretty and was prefer when I was looking the way I used to, because in this low self-esteem position it was, I guess, easy to kind of manipulate me or to control me or to just to not make me be, I don't know, rebellious or whatever was the intention. So then I kind of at that point I was quite vulnerable to, let's say, other people's opinions and criticism, because I didn't feel strongly about myself. So if somebody would discourage me from buying a pretty handbag, I would just, because for some reason, because I have innerly my thought I don't deserve it. Naturally, if somebody just suggested or tell me something like that, I would just go for it. I would just believe that person. So I guess in that point, if you feel like that about yourself or about something you do, then it's very easy to actually take other people's discouragements on board. And also because you feel that way about yourself, then other people might somehow reflect it. Everybody around you is just a massive mirror, as Teal Swan is saying, and it's true. So they possibly might, even create the situations that when they remind you of that, again, just maybe possibly to make you feel bad about the situation, and maybe that feeling, that one particular situation will trigger you enough that you say, no, I don't want to do this anymore, and I want to have to break through that situation and start to feel good about myself. I genuinely don't believe in being authentic. um, I think it just does not exist. Like, authentic, what does it even mean? Is it being myself? What is it? It is myself. Myself is just some sort of like a part of the universe, some sort of like a bubble soul that has no intentions, just to evolve and possibly reconnect with the divine at some point during the life as much as it can in this physical body, and possibly once I die to reconnect back to the universe again. So the thing that is myself as a myself that's basically acting around in this universe and on a daily basis level, it must be the ego part, it must be the consciousness, the subconsciousness, it must be just the ego part of my personality. And being authentic to your ego, what does it even mean? Your ego is based on the things you've been through and kind of formed based on your experience. So what is it actually to be authentic? But this is just my own experience and my own opinion that I'm just not imposing on anybody. I'm just expressing it. And maybe somebody who is listening to it will take something from it. Maybe they won't, but doesn't really matter. So I'm just expressing this opinion to, throwing ideas to think about. So what I do, or what I actually believe, is that not being authentic, but kind of being authentic through designing yourself. And I definitely, like, for me, it worked. Like, if I just close my eyes and I imagine what person I would like to be. I was always fond of Lara Croft and Tomb Raider games when I was a teenager. the things I liked about her was that she was so independent, and she was so smart and so beautiful, and she was so strong no matter what. Lara Croft never cries. Lara Croft is never afraid. She's like always there running around with her guns. And um, always like pursuing the goal and being slightly sarcastic. And those were the things I kind of admired about her and like liked about those games. And also the atmosphere and the Hindu temples and stuff like that. So actually, in some way, I think I take on loads of this. Something was actually that formed me, I would say, when I was a teenager. I guess we all have our own heroes, people who we look up to, but actually, what's stopping us from being like the heroes? What's stopping us from being, let's say, as amazing, as generous as Mother Teresa? What's stopping us from actually being as courageous and independent as Lara Croft? It doesn't even matter if the person is real or not, but we all have a different values. We all have a different ideas, different things we would like to take on board on ourselves. So for some people, let's say for me, it was Lara Croft and her independence and rebelliousness and strength and courage and bravery. For some people, it might be generosity, or just spiritual enlightenment or sharing joy. For some people, it might be their family member they look up to. But the important thing is nothing is actually stopping you from designing yourself to being that way. You can be your own invention. And that's what I would like to do with myself. I would like to be my own invention. I would like to be the way I want to be. I don't know, I don't want like to just go down deep myself and trying to dig out whatever. I just want to be the way I look in the mirror, and I'm extremely happy with who I see. Uh, doesn't mean that you have to completely immerse yourself in Lara Croft cosplay, but even if you feel like it, then why not, you know? But then I just kind of took on board different things from different people I did admire about them, and I'm trying to mimic it, and I'm trying to take it on board and trying to design myself that way. And actually, for me, it worked, and it helped me to feel better about myself and kind of find my way to it. Obviously, it won't become a complete copy of somebody else. It's impossible. But naturally, it will just blend in your personality and yeah, form you in a certain way. So yeah, I believe in being our own invention in that sense, and that helped me a lot with my self love and self worth. So yeah, this is just something I would like to talk about. For some reason, I felt very compelled to again rumble around midnight before I go to sleep about self love or self appreciation. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you feel and if you have something to say, some ideas how to deal with actually, let's say, low self esteem or uh, you know, lack of self appreciation. If you have any experience with it, or if you have any ideas how to deal with it. And also, if you have any ideas about things you would like me to rumble about, just let me know again in the comment section below, and um, I can make another midnight rumble. But hopefully, that this time it will be maybe daylight rumble when the video is not going to be so grainy and everything. So the quality will be better. But you know, this is more authentic. So I hope you didn't mind that much the quality of the video, and more tried to take about the things I'm saying. Maybe hopefully there is somebody listening. If at least one person is listening to this video and it helped her or him to make some steps in his or her life to, you know, feel better about herself and himself, then I'm happy this video completely fulfilled its purpose, and even though it's grainy, and I can sleep with I can now go and sleep with a good feeling. So thank you for listening to my rumble, and good night.